Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. This is a channel where I talk about the art of Pokemon cards. Okay, today's video is Miname Take, an artist that has been working for the past year or so in the Pokemon TCG. They first came to our attention through the Pokemon illustration contest of 2022, where they were a semi-finalist with their Arcanine card they submitted. But they have now been given, well, there are going to be 11. There's 10 out at the moment, these 9 and this one. We're going to have a look at Miname Take's artwork and why I like them. They are a Japanese artist working out of one of the suburbs of Tokyo, I think, Takinanba. I don't know whether they're male or female, so I'm going to have to refer to them as they. But I did a video last week, week before, talking about Okajeke and how Okajeke's art is rooted in the Art Deco style of modernism, cubism, etc. And when we come to looking at, when we look at the work of Miname Take, a lot of it falls into the same sort of category. It's not exactly the same, obviously, as Okajeke's work, but there is a lot of similarities in the school of art that they seem to come from, and their aesthetic, but only in some cards, perhaps. There's more variance in Miname Take's range of styles. So probably what's best is if I pull them all out. I'm going to be looking at Japanese prints only today. So we'll pull them out of here, and then we'll zoom in and have a little look at the cards. So we'll get rid of that for the moment. Let me see, I'll bring the camera in as usual. It'll judder because that's just how it does. How close do we want to go? Probably about there. So, okay. The first card. Well, this is not as straightforward as it should be. So the first card that we ever had released actually was this and wasn't this. This came out in English before it came out in Japan. This is the Charmander that was in English. It was the Obsidian Flames ETB promo. That came out in August of 2023, over a year ago. But it came out in the Charizard Venusaur Blastoise DX deck boxes in Japan in December of last year. So technically it's the first English card. Sorry, something in my throat. The first English card, but we're looking at Japanese cards. So technically sort of second card. This actually, which is a Japanese exclusive, actually we'll cut it out of the plastic. So bear with me. I want to look at it close up. This is the Detective Pikachu promo, which there isn't an English print of this one. And it was given away if you pre-ordered the Blu-ray DVD or whatever of the film, I think. But certainly it was with the Detective Pikachu film. So this was the first card that was released in Japan. And this came out in October of 2023. So which is the first card? You could say it's either. I think on Minamini Take's website, they sort of say this is their first card, but technically there was an English print of this earlier. So this is an absolutely beautiful card, and we're going to have a little look at it. The layout of it is just brilliant. Really, really good construction. But there's actually a lot of Pokemon in this card. So let's see. Can you see a Reboot in the card? Yes, you can. There's a Reboot in the little poster up there. There's a Whimsicott. Whimsicott is in the reflection of the window behind. You can see a Whimsicott over Pikachu's ear here. You can see a Luxray and a Galarian Darmanitan. There's a Mewtwo on this piece of paper. This flower was a silhouette of a Mewtwo here. So there are all sorts of Pokemon hidden in the card. So if you're a Whimsicott card collector, you need to get this card because there's a Whimsicott in the background there. It is that sort of Art Deco-y style with no clear outlines on this card. It's all blocks of colour. It's quite vibrant colours. A lot of Miname Take's work outside of Pokemon, which you can see on their Instagram page or their Twitter page or whatever, they tend to have very subdued colour palette. Quite milky, chalky colours, not very vibrant and intense. But when they're doing Pokemon, they do bring more vibrant colours into the palette because you have to, when you're commissioned to do a Pokemon card, you have to stick to the correct colour palette. Generally, I think they're quite strict with that. The commissioning art editors are quite strict with telling you what colour everything has to be to represent the Pokemon's colour palette. I just love it as a card. I think it's a really fun card. And being Japanese exclusive, it's a nice card. So that's the... Let's find a sleeve for that, actually. Bear with me. I just get a penny sleeve for the time being. I don't like leaving cards out on the surface without protection. So that's the first card. The second card, again, very clever little card. There's a Glameow hidden in this card. I assume you can see it. But there's Pidgeys and there's Charmander. Somewhat furious, I think, that he can't get out to play with the Pidgeys, eat the Pidgeys. I don't know. Beautiful light in the flowers here. I don't like this card so much. I think this is a much stronger card, but this is an interesting card. Yeah, a lot of detail in it. Beautiful. So there's your Glameow at the back there, sleeping on a bookshelf. The neck card that came out, I think both of these came out they both came out in Wild Force of January 2024, which is this year, and both were in English in Temporal Forces of March 2024. Now both of these have outlines, so they're not quite in that same sort of cubist style that you get here, but they're very clean graphics. Very interesting card, this. The way... Oh, sorry, it's from the other end. There we go. So this is the light falling on the surface of the water here is very interesting because you can see where the shadow of Totodile negates the reflection of the light on the surface of the water. Not putting that very well, but you get real depth of water in the shadow there. But the rest of the water, where the sky is reflected in the surface of the water, is just really clever. I didn't put that very well, but I hope you can see what I mean. I like this card a lot. I think it's very cute. It's very different. Totodile's doing something, I don't know. Building a dam? I don't know. Likes that stick. Yep, very, very successful card. I think that's really sweet. And in the same set, we had this very pastoral scene of Mudsdale and Mudbray loading rolls of hay onto a cart in a very odd. I don't know what. It's not a modern scene, is it? This is. I think it's very pretty, though. Love the colour choices in this. But as you can see, there's a lot of pen work in this, which shows that they've got quite a varied style. It's not all just those blocky colours. There is pen work too. And yeah, I think the relationship between the two is really sweet. It's a nice little card. And we've got a second Mudsdale pulling the cart at the front. So that is that. The next card that came out was this Froakie, actually, Just. And this came out in the Battle Academy in Japan of March, the early part of March 2024. In English, it came out in Stellar Crown in September of 2024, because Stellar Crown sort of mocked up all the Battle Academy cards that hadn't been released in English. You know, they're not exciting cards. This is in the Greninja deck, obviously. It's Froakie. And this is very much in the Okcheki style of, or actually more in the Hyogonosuke, big flat areas of colour. There's a little bit of dark lines with where the legs are bent and the mouth. But overall, the edges of the Pokemon aren't edged out in a black pen line or anything. It's an okay card. It's not very exciting to my eyes. I quite like it. But there are a lot of good cards in this school of art going around. This is not one particularly stands out to me, and I'm not particularly a fan of Froakie, to be honest. I like Greninja, quite like Frogadier actually, but Froakie's a little bit dull, for me, personal opinion. The next card we had was a Poltergeist. And the Poltergeist came out in Crimson Haze at the end of March. And was in Twilight Masquerade in May of 24 in English. Again, this is a pen line, like the Mudsdale. There's a lot of pen lines outlining everything. It's a very dark, somber card. It's not a Pokemon I particularly like, but this is a well-done little card. Not particularly memorable, but a nicely done illustration of rather sinister poltergeist on a shelf with pots and bowls that are covered in toxic stuff, I guess. Actually, take this out of the plastic because it's getting a reflection. Yeah, it's a nice little illustration, but it's not, it's not mind-blowing. It's okay. Nicely done card. From the same set, I think, the Blood Moon Ursaluna Crimson Haze. Yes, it came in the same set. So Crimson Haze, Twilight Masquerade. This is a beautiful card and very reminiscent of Okcheke, especially the Okcheke's Ice Rider Calyrex card, which also had little Teddy Ursas playing around in the back. And there's another card with Teddy Ursas, isn't there? There's a Glaceon VMAX or something. I don't know. Teddy Ursa seems to get a lot of cameos and Munchlax. So this is beautiful. Really stylized card with this Blood Moon Ursaluna breaking into a tree filled with honey. And you've got some little cutie flies up here and elsewhere. Really beautiful card. And being textured makes it special. Yeah, very fond of this card. So far, that is my favourite of the cards that Minaminami Take has done. Or up to this point, actually, just looking ahead. Yeah, I think it remains my favourite card that they've done. The next card that came out was, I think, the Fracture in Night Wanderer. When was... Yeah, I think... Yeah, it was the Fracture in Night Wanderer. I may be wrong. No, it was June 24. With the little Axews in the background as well. Again, this is reminiscent of an Okcheki card. It reminds me very much of the Hisuian Sneasler card, being in this style and a cliff, whatever. But this is in a waterfall and is beautiful, just beautiful card. Love that very much. A lot of character in it. So that was Fracture in Night Wanderer. And then the Mienshao was Stellar Miracle in July of 24. That's right, yeah. And in Stellar Crown of September 24. This is perhaps... I'm a huge Mienshao fan. Love it. I don't think this card is particularly strong. It's okay. I like the lilac colours of the nighttime scene that mirror the colours of Mienshao. it's just not very exciting to me. And I don't know what Mian Xiao's doing, because there's a lot of action, but no direction to the action. It's just standing there whipping its arms around, I guess. It's nice enough. Doesn't float my boat particularly, but it's a nice enough card. And then we've got Appleton, which came out in Paradise Dragona of September 2024, and is going to be in Surging Sparks, coming out very soon, in the next week or so, in English in November, because we're at the end of October here. I think it's the beginning of November Surging Sparks comes out. Yeah, lovely. Again, a lovely pastoral scene. Apples have been picked and crated and basketed, and Appleton is seemingly very pleased, looking at a particular apple that they like. I don't really know the relationship between Appleton and apples, or how they are a dragon Pokemon that lives in an apple, and then the apple becomes the helmet of Appleton. Yeah, I like that card very much. Lovely lighting. So MINAMINAMI Take is often given very, illustration rares or art rares or SARs. There's a lot of big cards here, if you look at these. So obviously the commissioning editor has got a lot of faith in them and likes to give them showcase cards. I think this is definitely my favourite, but I think this is also a very strong card. And it's special because it's Japanese only, and it's got a logo on it, which always makes cards special. But I think they're both very, very successful cards. Very fond of this one as well, and well, all of them. There's no bad cards here. But an artist, I hope we will see many more cards from. They're doing a card in the either the next set or the generation starter decks. They've done a Sylveon, which is very different style. So although I'm happy for an artist to vary their style and show us different aspects of what they can do, I would be sad if we lose this deco-y style totally. I hope they'll keep returning to it because it's so successful for them. And yeah, hopefully by next year we'll have twice as many cards. So that's today's video. That's MINAMINAMI Take.